Hi. Hey guys. So I was really apprehensive about making this exact video just because I know it's going to come with a lot of consequences and a lot of controversy, but I really don't care. I'm just going to say it because everybody's thinking it. Everybody's too afraid to say it. Everybody's too afraid to face Black Lives Matter. Everybody's too afraid of what will happen to them if they speak out, but I'm going to. We need to stop making criminals into heroes. If you believe that Black people are not less than, if you believe that Black people are just as equal as anybody else in this country, then you need to realize what you're doing by glorifying George Floyd. When I see little kids wearing George Floyd's face on a shirt, it makes me really sad. It makes me feel like that's not the face of the Black community. The face of the Black community should be a Black person who shows a great life, who shows that he can make great decisions, and maybe even have a great story to tell. George Floyd has none of these things. George Floyd is a criminal. Did he deserve to die in that way? No, he did not deserve to die of an overdose. I'm going to prove it to you guys and show you guys this. But first, let's look at his criminal record. This is the man who they're saying is a martyr, or who should be representing the entire Black community in America. Now, I want you guys to know this. I know I spelled heroes wrong. I'm sorry. The heroes thing is wrong. Whatever. Who cares? But here's the thing. So, George Floyd, his criminal record looks very, very colorful. So I put it up on the screen. I don't know if you guys can see it that well, but George Floyd moved to Minneapolis in 2014 after being released from prison in Houston, Texas, following an arrest for aggravated robbery. On May 25th, 2020, Floyd was arrested for passing a counterfeit $20 bill at a grocery store in Minneapolis. He was under the influence of fentanyl and methamphetamine at the time of his arrest. Floyd has more than a decades-old criminal history at the time of his arrest and went to jail at least 5 times. George Floyd was a ringleader of a violent home invasion. Mind you, during this home invasion, he put a loaded gun to a woman's stomach who was 7 months pregnant, saying, "I'll kill your baby." And then he drove the getaway car. This motherfucker was just a criminal, okay? He just got out of prison. He was only in Minneapolis because he got out of prison. And he had to flee wherever he lived at in Texas so he can start a better life. But did he start a better life? No, he was on fentanyl and methamphetamine at the time of his arrest. And that's what killed him, not the knee on the neck. And I have proof of that right here. So let's watch this video together.
Hey, man. Stay in the car. Let me see. Hey, man. Stay in the car. Let me see your other hand. I'm sorry. Let me see your other hand. Please, both hands. Do nothing. Put your hands up right now.
Watch this.
Let me see your other hand. What do we do? Put your hand up there. Put your hand up.
All right, the attorney for Officer Thomas Lane believes this is the most important piece of this video because I want you to watch George Floyd's mouth. They are alleging that he's got 2 milligrams of fentanyl in his mouth when he was first approached by Officer Lane. Take a look as we zoom in and freeze the video, and you tell me what you see on George Floyd's tongue. Could that be 2 milligrams of fentanyl? That's what they alleged in their court papers, and they say it was that fentanyl that killed George Floyd, not Derek Chauvin's knee on his neck. Big, big news out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. We've got some more big news to cover tonight as well, which is the recording of the interview of Officer Thomas.
I wanted to show you guys that because if you guys go back to the internet and look and see what they're saying about George Floyd's autopsy reports, although both autopsy reports came out and said that it was murder, because of course they don't want to be people that are attacked by Black Lives Matter either. They also did state in both autopsy reports that he had a lethal amount of fentanyl in his system. How much fentanyl does it take to kill a person? About 2 grams. Now, whether that ball in his mouth was 2 grams worth or not, that's what's actually in question here. I'm done trying to question whether the cop killed him or not. What the cops did was wrong. When he said he couldn't breathe, he should have moved his neck off should have moved his knee off his neck. 100%. 100%. I'm not saying that that's an okay thing to do. And if the cop was the one who killed him, I would be sitting here telling you that cop fucked up, like I've been saying for the past 4 months. But my story is about to change because my opinion has changed after seeing the evidence that has now been released. That cop did not kill George Floyd. We are all in America acting a fool. George Floyd died of an overdose. Period. And there's nothing else. Like, he died of an overdose, and it's clear because when you saw him literally put that ball of fentanyl into his mouth to swallow it because he was being arrested for using a fake $20 bill to buy a pack of cigarettes, another illegal act. So the cops had every right to stop him. But when he took that, he overdosed. And when you overdose on fentanyl, another thing I've read in here was that one of the common attributes of overdosing on fentanyl or methamphetamine is not being able to breathe. Literally. That's literally a side effect of dying or overdosing from fentanyl and methamphetamine. You can't breathe. So now, when you go back and look at the whole situation, and you know he ingested this drug, and there's proof of it now, you have to ask yourself, did he die from the cop's knee? Or was it, like the autopsy said, the fatal amount of drugs in his system? But let's go on to what this video is actually about, which is actually the fact that I'm just a little ticked that they keep making the face of the black community these criminal people. Why are Black Lives Matter always marching for these criminals? Why do they always have the back of criminals, thinking that they're heroes? George Floyd was no kind of good citizen at all. He was a bad person. Legitimately a bad person. Prison 5 times. Put a loaded gun to a pregnant woman's stomach, threatening to kill the baby as he was doing a home invasion, and then he drove the getaway car. That's who you think is the face of the black community? Yet you want America to stop looking at black people as criminals? Really? Well, how about you stop making criminals become the face or the martyrs of the black community? And why are we ignoring heroes? Like the black man who died at age 72 outside of his storefront in Minneapolis during the riots. That black man lived through the civil rights movement. That black man, he literally was and should be the face of what black success looks like. Not only did he live through the civil rights movement, but he became the chief of police in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And then he retired, opened up his own storefront, and was killed during the riots. I don't see his face anywhere. I see nobody talking about him. Nobody. People on the right are talking about him, but this isn't right versus left. This is stupidity versus sanity. George Floyd was a criminal and killed himself. Period. So let's move on to the next one. The next one I started looking into was this Jacob Blake. Of course, you guys are hearing a lot about Kyle Rittenhouse, which Kyle Rittenhouse, we'll get to that one next. But let's talk about Jacob Blake. Jacob Blake is another person who they're claiming is a hero or a martyr in the black community. He was shot in the back by cops numerous times outside of his car in front of his children. And from an outside perspective, that's horrible. That sounds so bad, and it is bad. It is horrible. But he's not dead. He is now paralyzed from the waist down, which I'm kind of glad because now he can't use his dick. Because Jacob Blake had outstanding arrest warrants at the time of his almost arrest due to sexual assault, facing 8.5 years in prison is what he was facing for sexual assault, trespassing, and disorderly conduct in connection with domestic abuse. Police were responding to a domestic incident at a home in the area when Blake was shot. Though nature of the dispute is unclear, although viral video shows a cop shooting Blake while reaching for something in his car, another video from a different angle shows him brawling with the cops on the pavement right before that. And that's the video that you guys haven't seen. The video they're not putting out there. And so he was brawling with the cop a couple of seconds earlier before he went to his car to grab something on the pavement. In 2015, Jacob Blake was charged with resisting arrest, causing a soft tissue injury to a police officer while pulling a gun at the bar, for which he was facing up to 8.5 years in prison. He's literally assaulted, sexually assaulted, tried to kill, and brawled with people. And that's the face of the black community. Is this what you want, Black America? Is this what you want? And I really, really, really am not coming at you in a bad way, but I want to know, Black America, is that the way you want to know, be like known? Are these the people you want to be the ones to be the face of your community? Is this how you want America to see you? So next one's Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse, I don't care what anybody says. He is alive. And he's only alive. My viewership just now went down hardcore. Just now up here on the screen. It went down hardcore, like how many people are watching. So I'm assuming I got kicked offline. I knew I was going to be kicked offline for this because I was in the middle of an argument where I said Kyle was a hero. And I knew Facebook deletes everybody who says that. So I decided to make this video during that because I know they're going to come for me. But let's keep talking. So Kyle Rittenhouse was being hunted. And I don't need to explain it to you. Let's just look at the pictures themselves. If you saw any of the pictures or videos from that night, we can start with the video.
Boys.
Come on.
Yeah, that's Antifa, man.
So I'm pulling up on Twitter. What? So here it is.
Oh, we got a gun,
He's
right?
being chased. He shot somebody. This was the first shooting.
Oh, he shot him. Shot him, man. Shot him. Shot him, man. He laid him out. He laid him out.
First of all,
He laid him out.
I want to point out that if Kyle Rittenhouse murdered him, why did he stick around after the first shooting on the first man that he killed? Why did he stick around? Why did he stand around worried? Why did he pace looking worried, getting on his phone? Somebody who murders somebody will probably take off running, right? Well, you don't even need to even think about that part of it because we can talk about this. We can talk about the fact that why did they leave out the fact that the lunging man threw a Molotov cocktail at Rittenhouse prior to the first shooting? Why did they leave that out? Why did nobody say that? Because that's what he did. He threw a weapon at Kyle. And why did they leave out during the second shooting? After Rittenhouse's trip, he was jumped by several men, including another armed protester, attacked by a skateboard prior to firing more shots. Why did they leave that out? Why? 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 This isn't about me sticking for Kyle and putting down George Floyd. This isn't about me sticking for a white boy and putting down black people. This is about me looking at the evidence like everybody else can see as well and using common sense. Now, this boy, Kyle Rittenhouse, if you saw any of the videos, you know he was defending himself. And if you need to, you can look at the pictures a little bit more up close. Let me show them to you. Here's where he's being kicked in the head before. This is before the second shooting ever took place. Because he was so scared after sticking around after the first shooting and pacing, he started to be chased by people. Then he's kicked in the head. And next, that's a skateboard against his head. A man is on top of him. Right here, a man's on top of him. See the man? They blocked out his face. But here's the man right here, black sweater, hitting him in the head. And the skateboard's hitting him in the head. Another weapon used to hurt him. So then he starts shooting again. And he shot and landed it on this man. All of a sudden, the guy with the skateboard thinks, he got scared and he took off running. And then here comes this guy. As you can see in this picture, this man's holding a gun pointed at Kyle's head. That's a gun pointed at his head. Gun, head. That's before and during the shooting of his arm. So the man pointed a gun at his head. I don't know about you, but if I'm in a combat zone or a combat situation and a gun gets pulled out onto my head and I just shot two people, I have no reason at that moment to believe that this guy is not going to shoot me in the head. Kyle defended himself and only shot the guy in the arm. At that close of range, he could have shot him anywhere on the body, in the head, in the chest. But instead, he did on the arm. Kyle Rittenhouse is alive right now. And he's very lucky. And although he's going through this crap, he's alive. And I think it's all due to the fact that he shot those people. My viewership just went down hardcore again. I'm sure I'm kicked off Facebook now. The truth sucks for a lot of you. A lot of you don't want to hear the truth. A lot of you guys don't want to see the truth. But George Floyd, 100%, is a criminal. And Jacob Blake, 100%, is a criminal. Kyle Rittenhouse, 100%, is alive due to his self-defense. And for those of you saying he crossed state lines with a gun, no, he didn't. The gun is registered to a person in that city, in Kenosha. And don't act like he came so far away. He drove 20 minutes, bitch. He drove 20 minutes with a lot of people that went there to make sure they didn't burn down businesses, because we're sick of seeing videos of black people crying and yelling and being upset after walking with the rioters, walking back to their businesses that are now burnt to the ground. We're sick of seeing people hurt. We're sick of seeing people suffer. So that's why I'm making this video, to put the truth out there. And I'm sick of you guys pretending to like black people. Black Lives Matter hates black people. Not only do they only act when a white person does something, but they also hate black people. And how do we know this? Well, they want America to look at black people at the way that they want us to look at them, meaning they put a face on the black community. And that face is George Floyd's face and Jacob Blake's face. It's disgusting. We have people like Condoleezza Rice. We have Ben Carson, who's a brain surgeon in our political realm. There's so many amazing success. We had a black president. And you guys make the black community, you make that the face of the black community? That's fucking so disgusting. And that's the opposite of progressive. But of course, it's coming from Democrats, who are the opposite of progressive. They're actually regressive. If you're a Democrat, I'm assuming you're racist. And you're probably one sitting at home watching this saying, I'm not racist, but fuck white people. Point proven. But I'm so sick of seeing you guys make criminals into heroes. And I'm so sick of seeing you guys make Black lives only matter when it's a criminal who dies. I used to say it's only when a white person does something, but no, let's be real. It's only when a criminal dies. Because Black Lives Matter even is taking time out of their busy schedule of sticking up for black criminals and also adding white criminals in there too. Like Michael, the guy who the feds killed in Oregon. After he killed a Patriot Prayer. They said Proud Boy, but I don't think he was well, he might have been Proud Boy. I know he was Proud Patriot Prayer. Jay, that was gunned down and murdered. And all the leftists, they celebrated. Well, the guy who murdered him was a white man. And now they're saying justice for Michael. I thought this was about black lives. Oh, yeah. Let's be real. We could tell black people that they hijacked the movement until we're blue in the face. It's going to be up to black America to stand up against it. But I'm going to tell you guys this. Kyle Rittenhouse was a hero. And Jacob Blake was a criminal, a rapist, a horrible person. Shouldn't even had children in the car, let alone being around children. And George Floyd died of a suicide and of an overdose on fentanyl because he was being pulled over for committing another crime, which he did very often in his lifetime. And these things are public knowledge. You guys don't have to take my word for it or call me racist or call me hateful. This is public knowledge. I only have this opinion because of the fact that I've researched. Here's the actual justice of conviction by court waiver of jury trial. This is all George Floyd's criminal history right here. You guys can look it up and read it yourselves. Here's all of his, here's all the ones he did wrong. There's all these cases. Look at all these cases. Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cases. This is what you want America to see when they think of black people. And this is what you're using to assume that we're all going to start respecting them. You're lucky that us on the right aren't actually racist. You're lucky that we actually love everybody. And you're lucky that we don't judge a man by the color of his skin. But what you're doing is wrong. You're trying to get us to judge people by the color of their skin, but it's not going to work. But if it did work, should we all think of all of you as criminals? Since this is your hero? Should we think of, why is Enterprise calling me? It's weird. Should we think of all of you guys as criminals? I refuse. Like I said, there's Condoleezza Rice. There's Ben Carson. There's that poor black man who lost his life during the riots. There's so many. There's Martin Luther King. There's even Obama may have been an idiot, and I hate him. I do not think I don't respect him as a president, but he did reach a level in this country that was history for Black America, and for that is the only thing I'm grateful for. There's so many black people out there who are successful, who are hardworking. Hell, the most paid people in the entertainment industry are rappers. Fact. So we have so many black people out there who are amazing people. But I noticed something. The black people out there who are amazing people don't fall for this racism bullshit. If you don't want to listen to Ben Carson, listen to Lil Wayne. Listen to what Lil Wayne has to say about it. Lil Wayne even says he's never seen racism. He's never had to deal with that. And he said the same thing I'm going to say right now. I'm sure there are people out there that have. I'm sure there are. I'm sure racism exists somewhere. We're all sniffing it out, but it's weird that we all can't find it yet. And I'm sick of everybody putting down America. It's time that we realize that it's okay to pat ourselves on the fucking back because 50 years ago, we were a different nation. We were racist, we were homophobic, and we hated a lot of fucking people for the color of their skin and their sexuality. And today, we do not. Pat yourself on the back because America has grown, and I'm very proud of that growth. And I'm very proud to say I'm American. And I'm very, very proud to say I'm an equal American. And so are you. There's not one of you watching this in America that is not an equal American. So again, stop making criminals into heroes. And then, or if you want to keep doing that, you want to keep making criminals heroes, then stop being mad at racist people. Why are you mad at racist people? Because the only thing they say about you is that you're criminals, that you guys are fucking, you're this, you're that. All the rumors they say about you is all the things you're doing. Yet you don't want to be called those things anymore. Again, you're very lucky that the people who are opposing Black Lives Matter, you're very lucky we don't judge people by their skin color. I will never judge a man by the color of his skin. I will never judge a man by what race he's mixed with. I will never do that in my lifetime. I never have. That's why I won't feel guilty for it. I won't apologize for it. And I won't feel bad for being white. Ever. And if I was black, I would say the same fucking thing. Because it wouldn't matter. Because if I was black, I'd be just as equal as I am now. I was born in 1988, not 1948. I was born in an equal world. I was raised with equality. I was raised to never say the N-word and always know that never judge a person by the color of their skin. We all were raised the same way. All of us. If you're watching this right now and you're under the age of 40, you were fucking born into an equal society. What the fuck are we doing pretending like it's not? I refuse to give into that. I refuse to play that game. I refuse to give into you guys' bullshit about racism. Your systemic racism. The only thing systemically racist we still have in our laws is affirmative action. Where it fucking literally it hurts disproportionately white people. And it takes away black people's strive to get into college based on their academics. Well, I mean, look at the fail rates of people who use affirmative action to get into school. It's over 60%. That should tell you something. People, well, let's use this as an example. If you give a child a car, their first car, if you just give it to them, I don't care if it's a Lamborghini or a beat-up bucket, they're not going to respect it. If a child works hard, mows lawns, earns that money and buys the car themselves, and it's a bucket, they'll be washing it every day. They will love that vehicle. That'll be their baby. America, remember, when you earn something, you appreciate it. Stop expecting things and stop disrespecting things that are handed to you. Like equality. Stop disrespecting it. None of you were born into a society that we had in 1950s. Not if you're under the age of 40. If you're under the age of 40 watching this, you were born into an equal society. Act like it. Why the fuck am I an adult? I'm 32 years old. Can't believe I just said that. I'm about to be 32 years old, and for the first time in my life, I have to face things like racism. What the actual fuck? Stop. But I refuse. From now on, from this video on, I'm never going to say George Floyd was killed by that officer again. Because he wasn't. He died of an overdose. And I just showed you video proof. And we know who the criminals are. This is George Floyd's rap sheet. Look at all of these. He's been in prison 5 times. He tried to kill a baby that was still in a woman's stomach. And Jacob Blake, I refuse to call him a fucking hero either. Jacob Blake, literally, I'm glad that he's paralyzed from the waist down. I'm glad he didn't die. I'm glad he didn't die. Because now, those cops, their lives won't be ruined like the cops in Minneapolis. But I'm glad he's also paralyzed from the waist down. That cop did a service to America. This motherfucker had an outstanding warrant for sexual assault. Well, now I can't use his dick. So that officer is a hero. And the only people who would think that I'm wrong for saying that are the same people who I bet love the fact that now pedophilia is legal if it's within a 10-year gap. Which you are somebody that I wouldn't care at all if you got Hillaried. I don't want to say, I can't say those words. I'm on multiple platforms. I don't want to be kicked off because I'm sure this video is going to get me kicked off a lot. So if I am kicked off of all these social media sites, you guys, just know I'll be in Vegas this weekend. I'll see you guys in Vegas. I'm going to see Trump this weekend. And I'm speaking on the 19th. Let me go ahead and show you that flyer real quick because if I'm kicked off, this is going to be the last video I'm going to be able to do, which I'm sure is coming. So let me show you guys the flyer. Come out and see me on the 19th. I'll be speaking with like Earl Webb. I think they're trying to get MAGA Hulk and a couple of other people. But here's the event. Come out. It's going to be in Ladera Ranch at Cox Field. Go ahead and come on down, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different issues, and the election's coming up, so we're going to be talking. But I personally will be there to speak about my story and how it was to leave from the left and go to the right, and I'm going to teach you guys different things that we could do to debunk the myth of the minority. The word minority is just a leftist term in order to separate us away. We are equal now. There's no point in even saying the word minority anymore. There's no point in it. There's no point in it. There's no point in it. I don't see anybody but humans. I see 2 types of people in this country: American citizens and non-citizens, period. And for you leftists watching this, just because I said non-citizen doesn't mean I said evil person that just belongs in jail. No. Just like with trans people, mental disorder doesn't mean that I hate them, but it is a mental disorder. Reality is something that's beautiful. You guys need to start living in it. And this is the reality of your heroes. And I refuse to look at black people and think about George Floyd. Black people are better than that. They come farther than that. And they are just as equal as me. And their voice is just as loud as mine. So I will not speak for them during a Black Lives Matter protest either. And any white person speaking for them for Black Lives Matter needs to sit down and shut the fuck up. We don't need your white liberal fucking voice. You are actually the problem. White liberals are the problem. You are the white supremacist that they're talking about. If you're a white liberal, you are the white supremacist they're talking about. You think that your white voice is so needs to elevate black people. You're sorry for being white. You think that black people are less than you, and that's why you feel bad, because you really believe that they're less than you. The reason why I'm so confused about this whole black people being less and being disenfranchised is because, bitch, I grew up around nothing but black people. And I'll tell you, I didn't see it. What the fuck? Like, because it doesn't exist. It only exists in the minds of people who really believe in their heart that black people are less than them, and they feel guilty about that. So they go and say sorry about that. And then they think they owe something to black people. So they march with them. Because anything that takes the blame off of themselves and puts it onto other people. But really, I've never thought black people were less than. So no, I won't give you a trophy for being black. You're just as equal as me. And so you can speak for your damn self. I'll speak for myself. Okay. So white liberals, you are the problem. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. This video is really intense, but I feel I'm sick of it. I was in a really intense battle, an argument with somebody right before I went live about this whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing, and I had people attacking me from every side. And all I said was, that boy is a hero. That boy was in self-defense. And people are coming at me crazy right now. So that's why I made this video. I spelled heroes wrong. Right here. Right here. I know. People are pointing out. Call me stupid. Call me an idiot. Call me whatever you want. Oh, he's on the right. He can't spell. Shut up. Bitch, I came on this fucking video really fucking quickly. With proof. What did you do? How can you prove that he's not a hero? How can you prove that it wasn't self-defense? Prove that to me. Prove it. How can you prove that George Floyd didn't die of an overdose? Because, I mean, I showed you a video. Proof. Prove to me. How can you prove that Jacob Blake didn't deserve to have his dick not work ever again, as he's a sexual assaulter? Prove it to me. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And like I said in every video, I'll see you in the next one. Girl, don't try to call me racist after this. Just don't. Just don't. Because otherwise, if you call me racist after this, you literally missed the entire point of this video, bitch. Like, the fuck? Like, I have black people, like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I have black people in my family. I'm not trying to be that person, but bitch, it's true. It's still, it's fucking, like, bitch, I don't hate a goddamn motherfucking person. I'm American. I'm Republican. That means I love everybody. Okay? Okay.